Okay. Whenever we start.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming to our presentation. My name is Nuno Zimas. I'm here with my colleague and co-worker Miguel Puig. Yep. We are from a relatively small company from Britain, or based in Britain because we are not British ourselves, called Frontend Tech, which is a division of a larger company called European Television Guild, which is mostly devoted to content sourcing and distribution on a multitude of platforms, including IPTV and several types of VOD as well. And the fact that we belong to a company devoted to that kind of activity was actually what prompted the creation of this extension we are introducing now called Kajoo, because our colleagues from particularly the rights management and sales department had the actual need to bring together what was already for a few years now our primary stream backend platform, which is Kaltura, and Joomla, which for quite some years has been also our CMS of choice. So this kind of merger, for us, it made a whole lot of sense. It started as an internal project. At first we tried to create we tried to plug several third-party scripts into a very well-known CCK called FlexiContent. But then at some point, well, here's the whole description and so on, it's on our website as well. It didn't work out too well because the kind of data flow we have to handle cannot be covered by even the most sophisticated CCK back then for Joomla, probably not even by SelfHosted nowadays. So we were tasked with writing a component from scratch. First it was just meant to be used inside the company, and then later on we realized that there could be a potential market of professionals in this particular area, just like our colleagues, who would benefit from a robust Joomla extension providing a bridge with Kaltura. Well, as for the features and the benefit, I believe this is a. You'll have to bear with me on this. I'm really short-sighted, and honestly, I cannot even read from here what is up there. So I believe this is the features, right?
Specification.
Specification. It's the features. Anyway, it's a feature list. So we have focused on. Well, by the way, Miguel, I'll now transfer the presentation to you. You can just read out, the highlights here.
Yeah, sure. We have seamless functional and visual integration between Joomla and Kaltura.
Yeah.
That's the first point.
Yes.
We have custom fields and field types to create filters.
By the way, I'll stop you there. I will be commenting or elaborating on the points. Kaltura, I'm not sure if you are all familiar with Kaltura. You are not?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. So for people who know Kaltura, Kaltura by default provides.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to show the
okay, Kaltura by default provides a basic set of, let's say, labels or descriptors for a particular media asset, be it a video, an audio file, or any another type of media. I think it even supports PDFs and stuff like that. And the fields we are talking about are the usual, title, description. It's usually what you see in an XML MRSS specification. The title, description, tags, category, and it's basically that. For us, in our company, it was not enough because we had the need to create very, function-oriented filters, whereby our customers could come into like a sort of marketplace environment and define the characteristics of, or the features that they were looking for in a content. For instance, runtime or time slot. And for instance, time slot for a television channel is very important, because you want to know if a particular show of a particular kind fits into a time slot from 60 to 90 minutes. You don't need to know the exact length of the show, but you need to know this particular parameter. Another thing that you can manage through custom fields is, for instance, the type of rights that apply to a particular asset. So there are certain things. Let's say you have a documentary about a topic, and that documentary includes children, for instance, and children cannot appear on Spanish TV. Okay, so you can define in a filter if a particular type of video will feature children or not, and if the children are censored or not. Okay, so children's faces on Spanish TV, no. So yes, custom fields. This is something that by default you want to get. There is how is it called? The metadata section in the Kaltura framework, but you cannot easily turn it into filterable select lists. Okay, and in our experience, it is extremely messy and it doesn't get the job done. So we try to bring this, we try to close that gap and improve what they have done. Okay, fields.
Client management and sales workflow.
Yes, this is also this is absolutely relevant, and for the people who work in the sales department in our company, they have to keep track of everybody they get in touch with business-wise. So they will. We have implemented a section called clients, where you will register, all sorts of transactions regarding the videos you have on a particular portal, and the kind of and the sales inquiries you get regarding those videos. And obviously this is very specific. It's for a very particular kind of business activity, and we have been assessed by our colleagues to develop things on that front. So nowadays you can pretty much let's say log all your business activity within the platform. So if you have customer, let's say SES, Astra, for instance, well, they are more into the satellite business, but let's imagine that for whatever reason they would want to distribute content as well. So you would add an entry for them, and then you would know precisely, because you could log it yourself, or they would do that from the front end. That's a feature we are going to show as well. You will know precisely which titles they are interested on, and the sales status of those items, if they are being negotiated, if they have been sold, or if there is nothing going on at all, regarding those titles.
Yeah, we have configurable options at all levels of administration.
Exactly.
Custom reporting and catalog generator.
This is also very important. Sorry to hold you there. And that's another request that we've got from the salespeople. They often go to exhibitions, okay, and to events like NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters in the US. Every year they have this huge congress. So if you go there, this is still a handshaking kind of business. So usually they have to bring with them printed catalogs with the titles that exist on a particular portal or directory. Okay, so to this end, we developed a report generator which will allow you to pretty much set several options to cross-reference them. Then you click a button and it generates a beautifully formatted PDF with the catalog printed there, custom made.
We support multiple Kaltura publisher, multiple Kaltura instances on different locations too. an editing place function for all editable elements.
We are leveraging Bootstrap here nowadays.
Yeah.
So everybody talked about Bootstrap today, so
we'll show you a demo later. So
exactly.
Editing place function, flexible front-end layouts, code efficiency by leveraging the Joomla framework API, and in strict compliance with the MVC pattern. Optimistic for Joomla 3.0 and above.
Okay. Just one thing, Miguel, that I would like to. Oh, you can move forward. That I would like. Well, this is basically the types of profiles we think our extension is more suitable for. The types of business activity and so on. And I can tell that because there are 4 of them, and I remember it by memory. And now, besides those that are mentioned here, I would like to mention another type of use for our extension and for Kaltura itself, which is quite trendy nowadays. And I believe it's the main business area for Kaltura itself. Corporate portals, corporate video portals for training purposes. So many companies nowadays, large corporations, they want to use platforms like Kaltura to deliver video contents to their employees which are confidential, so they cannot upload them to YouTube, for instance, for that purpose. Okay? They want to keep it in a sort of intranet, so with no connection to the internet at all, and YouTube wouldn't do the job. Okay? At that level, it must be noted, for those of you who are not familiar with Kaltura, by the way, that Kaltura is an open source platform. Kaltura exists in several editions. There is the software as a service edition for people who are less tech savvy, or they don't have, let's say, the infrastructure to run their own instance of Kaltura. But again, you can download the community edition to run a self-hosted instance of Kaltura. So you can have your own, let's say, your own Kaltura in your own premises. Kaltura Corp, by the way, they provide that kind of service as well. I mean, if you have the need to run Kaltura installation in your corporate environment, they have the resources to provide you with that. But again, if you are adventurous enough, like we are, you can just go grab the code yourself and build your own version or your own instance of Kaltura altogether. So the key, back. The key players here.
Yeah, the key players are content distribution professional, VOD portal owners, producers and publishers, broadcasting companies.
And large corporations and education institutions as well, by the way, universities, for instance. Just so that you know, Kaltura powers all the media section or the media backbone of Wikipedia, which is not a mean feat at all. Okay, and they have other major clients like HBO and so on and so forth.
Licensing model.
Yeah, this is the obviously we have chosen the GPL. I mean, it's the natural. We develop with Joomla, which is GPL, I think 3 nowadays, right? And so is Kaltura as well. So it only makes sense that our extension is also released under the GPL. In terms of subscription model, we have decided to follow on the footsteps of the best in the Joomla community nowadays, like Akiva, for instance, and Sovi Pro as well. So we don't sell the code; we sell services, basically. Support services, maintenance, updates, and so on and so forth. But once you subscribe and you download a particular version of the extension, you do with it whatever you want, whatever the GPL version 3 allows you to do. Okay, so no restrictions in that concern. Okay, this is already a demonstration of this is actually from our first version 1.0, but we think that this layout is more accomplished than what we have nowadays on our demo because it's still under development. And this would be like a detailed view of a particular implementation of a video. This is an actual site called freeband.tv, which is managed by our rights management department and content distribution. And as you can see on the top, you have the inquiry button, so that you know, when people look at this particular title here, then they can inquire about territorial rights, platform rights, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then it gets to the sales representative, and in turn they get in touch with that client. And this is already from the new version. As you can see, it's bootstrap all the way. This is just a detail. I think it's in the configuration, right?
Yeah, the configuration.
Yeah, so as you can see, most of the decisions are made from the user interface as it shall be, so that there is no hard coding or overriding going on. We want this to be simple and sweet.
And so is this a full video player you're putting in your site?
Well, as a matter of fact, that's an interesting question, because the video player is actually something you can, in a way, brew yourself. Now you can define the look and feel of you know, whatever player you choose from the array of players that the Kaltura API provides, which is, I can tell you, it's quite vast, you know, so it doesn't limit you in any way.
Yeah, we will show you in a minute how
exactly how it actually is brought together
with your own logo as a watermark.
Okay, so
this is the new view of the fields list.
Exactly, this is the custom fields manager. Okay, as I've told you before, in our view, and I'm not sure if the Kaltura people would like me to make this kind of remark, but it's the fact of the matter. In our view, it's still a major issue missing in the Kaltura API. You know, the way it handles custom data, it is not satisfactory. So we have developed it, you know, custom fields for the purpose of, let's say, allowing people to build highly organized, front-end filters, which, you know, you can define several criteria, and then it will retrieve the lists you are looking for. Well, this is an example of the details. The listing view. Okay. Huh?
The custom reporting.
Yes, this is the custom reporting. Sorry. Okay, this is what comes out of the PDF generator for the sales representatives to bring under their armpit around and to distribute it and so on. This is the view, the front-end view of freeband.vv, which is a particular implementation of the component. So as you can see, it has several filters down the column. In the most recent iteration, as Miguelito will show you, there is more stuff going on because we have implemented the wish list feature, which allows, you know, customers to go and to build like a sort of shopping cart experience, so that then instead of going to each of the videos and then generate an inquiry request, they can basically aggregate them in a module that sits on the right side, and then perform unified or centralized inquiry.
Okay, this is the clients management and sales workflow.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is where you know, as I've told you before, here you have the titles this particular dummy imaginary customer could be interested on. Okay, and together with the statuses of each of the titles. So this has a lot to do. This integrates with the sales cycle itself. You know, so that at all times the sales representative knows exactly who bought or who is interested in what. Okay, because we are talking here about, you know, mostly prime or premium contents. Okay, where stuff like DRM is actually, you know, applied and supported. It's the core of the business and so on. Okay, and that should be.
Is there a value to use your solution if you're just giving the video away, or is it really around an on-demand and paid content? If you're doing
you see that kind of workflow is something you can custom build according to what you have in mind. You see, the component enables you, because it leverages the Joomla ACL. We use the Joomla ACL for that purpose. So you can create whatever restriction you have in mind for a particular kind of content.
So you don't have to charge them if you want.
No, of course not, at all. As a matter of fact, in most uses that we foresee, this would be probably most tailored to for instance, what I've mentioned earlier on, like corporations or educational institutions, for instance, where there is a need to keep the employees, let's say, building their knowledge and so on.
Got it.
Okay. But again, it can be used for anything, really. Even if you have a blog and you have an account with Kaltura, because there is Kaltura software as a service, okay, and most of the customers we think that we may attract, they will actually come from the Kaltura world, from the Kaltura software as a service world. Those customers, they may have just a blog, okay, in Joomla, of course, and they will want to have a video section in that blog, so it is good for them as well. Okay, if they want to have the videos highly organized, of course, and structured. So this is the Kaltura website, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is these are the Kaltura, well, TMZ there. It's I would like to have them as a customer. Anyways, you have Best Buy, and Kaltura is something that is happening for the past 6 years already. Okay, they have, as far as I know, they have had very important venture capital injections there as well to keep, building. And to my knowledge, it is pretty much the only VMS, the only video management system in the open source world that I would consider to be enterprise class. And I have tested a handful of them at least. Okay, and we have tried to build our own as well. Yeah. With some Python scripts to automate FFmpeg and so on and so forth for video conversion, because if there is something that Kaltura does quite well is content ingestion and processing, and you can with Kaltura you can create as many flavors as necessary for as many devices and platforms as necessary with just one click. Flavors of a certain video. So if you have an iPad or a mobile phone, the version of the video you are going to get from a Kaltura implementation is optimized for that device. Okay, so it's very, in our view, it's very good in terms of dealing with bandwidth restrictions and so on, and also the restrictions of the devices themselves. Okay, and in terms of, let's say, the context, why we built Kajoo, what is Kajoo, broadly speaking, this is pretty much what I have to say. Now Miguel is going to demonstrate to you where we are in terms of development with a real world demo with dummy data anyways. And then, if you have questions, we would be glad to answer them. So, Miguelito.
Okay, this is the main Kaltura backend. It's not the Kajoo, our company. It's not our company. This is Kaltura dashboard. Okay, so we can manage all the content from here. See, this is the content view. Where
just a quick interjection there. This is what Kaltura provides you in whatever edition they have. Be it the software as a service, be it the community edition. It's pretty much this stuff you see here.
Yeah. Okay. We can manage all the videos here. For example, we can let's open a video, an example video. Let's see the resolution. Let us see the whole. There we can see some data like title, description, meta tags, categories. We can preview the video, add thumbnails to each video. Well, you are not viewing all the things because of the resolution, but you can imagine it. And as you can see here, those are the flavors. The flavors are the formats of each video.
They're endless.
Yeah.
You can pretty much cover a whole spectrum of different devices, many different resolutions, aspect ratios. Well, it's usually kept the way it should be, but different video formats as well. Yeah. So they have their own implementation. They have contributed, I believe, to what FFmpeg can provide by default.
Yeah, so we can manage the videos from here. We can create playlists of videos, moderate them if you allow another users to upload them. For example, we can create custom categories from here, sports, general, HR. I show you in Joomla better than here. Create players, custom players. For example, custom with, we are going to create a new player. Okay, new player.
Well, Miguel, you can skip that part because this is the purely Kaltura.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing. You don't have to go into.
We are not workers of Kaltura. Okay.
Exactly.
If you want to try it, sign up with an account.
Yes, you can either sign up with them. Again, if you are savvy enough.
But are you loading your video to their site then?
No, I mean it depends. Actually, it depends on the type of customer we are dealing with.
But this is your site.
No, this is Kaltura. We actually have our own installation of Kaltura in a different server.
So you'd have your server on your site.
Yes,
you'd have the
yes.
software. But
Yes.
if you're using GoDaddy, can you put the data on the GoDaddy?
No.
Okay.
It would be too underpowered. You know, you need a dedicated server just for this beast. In any case, you know, going back to where you were. Again, in most use cases, I think people will want the software as a service option because it only makes sense to have a dedicated server running Kaltura, let's say your own instance of Kaltura, if you have the, you know, if your streaming needs justify that kind of investment. And we realize that with many of our regular meaning, let's say low-level customers, that's not the case. When we have to scale up things, then that's when Kaltura self-hosted comes into play. Okay. And again, it's open source, so anybody.
So with your solution, we can actually use GoDaddy and implement it.
Yes, if you have the Kaltura, any Kaltura backend. Okay, because what our solution does is to bring what you manage from the Kaltura backend into Joomla. Because this backend here, you know, the default Kaltura backend, it won't allow you to build any site. Okay, this is just management of audio-visual assets. This is a video management
So
system.
I would buy Kaltura's service and then use yours on it if I'm using a GoDaddy
Exactly,
site.
GoDaddy or site.
Well, GoDaddy doesn't have it, so it has to use Kaltura, buy that
Yes.
service, and
Yes.
then your
Yes.
video on demand on top.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let's see the Kajoo, because how many time we have? So much. No.
Go ahead, Millie.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a Joomla 3.0 installation. This is the Kaltura component.
This is the backend.
The backend. So what we should do first of all is configure one partner. The partner is like an account. To create an account in Kajoo, you should add it here, and
In Kaltura.
in Kaltura, you create an account in Kaltura and you put the details here, the administration secret, to connect to the API. Okay, we have a default player here. Okay, once connected, it synchronize all the contents. Okay, so we can go to content and see all of our videos from Kaltura are here. So we can edit them. We can open a video.
Well, we are sorry for any graphical distortion or anything, but you know, the resolution doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, we can add the description. For example, add a new meta tags, Joomla rocks. For example, add categories, custom categories. Those categories are the Kaltura 1 categories. So I can
they are taken from the API of Kaltura.
I can create the content in Kaltura, and then they will be shown here automatically. Custom fields. The custom fields are created in another section of the backend, so it can be selected.
And these are handled by Kajoo, not by Kaltura.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can see all the flavors that are available to convert. We can convert to mobile 3GP, for example. We can add thumbnails from the video.
Yeah, we can even pick them.
Yeah. For example, with a thumbnail, it retrieves the second. Here is the thumbnail. we can preview and embed all the players that we have. This is our custom player that we create in Kaltura backend. So we can use it as default player in our frontend. So all the users will see this player. We can select, for example, player with no share button.
Yeah, it's like the skin of the player and the features.
Yeah, you can configure it.
Social media features and stuff like that.
You can get rid of the Kaltura logo, add your watermark here, avoid displaying the volume buttons, and so let's use the previously created Kaltura player. This leads with our logo type in orange colors, and set it as default player. Okay. So we have now, we are editing one content, okay? This is like an article of Joomla, but it's for a single video. Imagine that we create a custom tag here. For example, World Conference, let's say, okay? We click on save. The video is automatically saved. And if we refresh we can refresh from here. Let's refresh the web page, the content. And
yeah, so it synchronizes with the Kaltura backend as well.
Let's see the videos that we have edited. We cannot see it here because we are not allowed to. We are going to edit this video, okay, instead of the other. So we have the contents. And we are going to edit the cars video. Let's see if it's here.
You don't have to go into all the, I think, all the details. The idea is that obviously each video in Kajoo then has a match in the Kaltura backend that it is synchronized with it, and then it will incorporate the fields from the fields manager. So it's pretty much a CCK kind of thing, you know, and then that reflects on the front end as well. And actually, we'd like to go to the front end.
Well, the last thing here is to the fields view where we can add new fields. Okay,
these fields will act mostly as filters.
Say values. So we are going to show the front end. Okay, this is the default template for Joomla.
Yes. And this is not worked in any way. I mean, this is a war zone.
This is the Joomla Bootstrap. Okay, custom. It's using Bootstrap. There we have the views, and it's responsive. So if it's
it resizes according
to mobile. A mobile device, it will fit to the screen. So we can, using Ajax requests to, for example, music videos. We can select music videos, the category.
Yeah,
we only see
doesn't
music
load
videos.
The page all over again, of course.
We have, for example, the search, regular search input. We can add to a wish list each of the videos.
Yeah, this is what I've mentioned earlier on. So this works pretty much like a shopping cart. If you click there, then this generates this form here to contact anybody who is in charge of managing this particular asset. So it would be usually a sales representative. In our experience, that's how it works.
So this form will go to the administrator or whoever, and we'll send him the list of.
By the way, this makes sense because you raised the question of would this be suitable for free content website? Of course it is. I mean, this kind of feature can be disabled, so that it's not even shown at all. Okay.
Yeah, and the front end is totally customized. We can go to the configuration and drag and drop. For example, I want the wish list at the bottom. Okay. The wish list is almost at the bottom. And if we refresh the web page, it should be at the bottom. Should be.
So they become the back engine, you become the front end.
Exactly.
So you create the integration is what you've done.
Yes, Kajoo is basically a
module.
A front end.
Module. A customized module.
Yes.
That is actually.
It's
complex.
It's a component mostly. Again, in our view, it addresses because listen, if you use, let's say, Kaltura software as a service, and you have a blog, or a blog, no, something a bit more complex than a blog. Let's say an e-commerce site, okay, or even more sophisticated than that. You actually live from making tutorials, okay. So what would happen? Kaltura Software as a Service allows you to, just like YouTube, to grab a JavaScript snippet and to drop it in whatever portion of a CMS you want. Okay, WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, whatever. This goes one step further, in the sense that it brings from a Joomla front end, it brings, let's say, some sort of logical workflow to Kaltura. It makes sense of the assets that you have in Kaltura, you see, so that you don't have to go there and pick one by one, copy paste each of the, the JavaScript snippets and so on.
The service you buy with Kaltura, are you paying for how many uploads, how large the files are, or how many times you're hitting them?
It works like this. Kaltura has, they also have free accounts. So if you sign up with them on Kaltura.com, you have up
gigabytes
to 10 gigabytes of space. I don't think they matter the bandwidth. They would confirm that with you, or you can go to their website. But I don't think they matter that. They take into account the storage space, and from then on,
you just pay them based on how much.
Yes, exactly, how much you use. It's that kind of deal. But again, the beauty of Kaltura, as opposed to, let's say, YouTube, is that if the company ever goes bust, and let's hope it won't, but if that happens, the code is out there, So the platform,
but you still have to download all your video. You still have to get a dedicated server.
Yes. You have to go through that hassle if you choose the community edition.
It'd be great if your API talked to YouTube. But
yeah. But okay, in a nutshell, this is this is what we have been developing in terms of integrating Joomla with Kaltura. If you would be open to questions.
Another thing is we kind of load the content straight.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to go through that dashboard.
Yeah.
Actually, you can.
We incorporate a widget, so we can upload a video
directly from Joomla.
For example, we can.
Can I have users to upload data to that?
From the front end, we can implement that feature. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are planning to incorporate some add-ons like social media plugins, comment plugins.
The reason why we haven't so far, it's because we didn't take into account user-generated content, in this particular iteration. You see, because that's not what that's not the kind of experience we are used to. Okay, so we thought more about video broadcasting professionals in the first place and the kind of needs they would have. Nowadays, we are opening to many other scenarios. That's why we incorporated, Kaltura Software as a Service, which is something that the first version of this component didn't include. We were completely focused in our first release on self-hosted scenarios. So we didn't take into account, let's say, the layman's needs. Okay? Nowadays we do, and that's a very good call, actually. I mean,
will you ever have an interface to YouTube?
Well, that would, in that way we would, in a way, betray Kaltura, so to speak. But we could think about that. I was actually talking with Miguel earlier.
I come from that world. I mean, you got to be thinking outside the box. It's not that. It's I don't have the ability to buy these extra services with Kaltura where I really want everything to be in a single platform. Mm-hmm. You're now forcing me to go to YouTube. You're now forcing me to go to Kaltura. You're now
we could make it more agnostic.
I mean,
but
you become more smarter on the front end, right?
But there is a reason why.
Sure, they have a lot of integrity behind the scenes.
Obviously, and
but you'd have to build in. Negative.
We thought about that actually, about incorporating other.
You're almost there though. There's a little bit of redundancy of content, of the development that you're doing. A little bit more further, you'd have it on the front end, like a Joomla, like a Kajoo Lite kind of a thing,
Well, we again down the road we are open to any kind of possibility or scenario. Right now, we truly think that Kaltura is an actual, let's say, it actually answers, specific needs many of our customers come up with,
Enterprise level, I agree all over the place.
Yes. For
Integrity,
instance, the internet scenario I described at the very beginning, it's actually a common request, for education materials and so on. And we have developed, while we were working still in Spain, we have developed it for the Spanish Yellow Pages, their own internal social network, a bit like the Data Hub here, but of course a lot more modest. And one of
so
the
you call that Kajoo Enterprise, and you do a Kajoo non-enterprise,
yes, and
right?
we added that feature for them, to be able to broadcast their educational or training videos to their employees. And there was layers of ACL, because obviously a particular department could only access a particular set of videos and so on. So yes, we did that already. But again, when it comes to integrating third-party services, other services other than Kaltura, we could think about that actually, but again, that would be a bit against our principle of keeping focused as well, because we believe that there are many other extensions in the Joomla sphere which in a way or another cover that kind of need. You can, all videos, for instance, it does that, okay? All videos or the similar plugins, they allow you to load nearly any platform out there, except Kaltura actually. So I've never seen anything for Kaltura in the Joomla world. But okay, it's something we can take into
But I looked at them all too, and all videos seem to be the better one out of all of them, but there's not a whole lot after that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, but again, it's a plugin, so a plugin, in a way, it's quite limited as well, unless you are running it with a very powerful CCK, like Sedlog, so that it makes it easy. For instance, I cannot tell many of our co-workers in the non-technical departments or I don't expect from them to even copy-paste a very simple, plugin snippet inside the content editor in Joomla, because they won't be able to do that, So we need something which is more into the point and click, realm. Okay. If anybody has any questions, we'll be taking them.
In an ad-driven environment, the content is free like yours, but absolutely has to be controlled. Anything you upload into YouTube, you're giving up your copyrights and all that sort of stuff. So
absolutely.
Internally produced content doesn't have to be secure. But pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll, partner ads, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Producing, generating tags so that this can be so that the bundle of the content, video content, along with playlists and related videos and all that sort of stuff, can get bundled up in a tag and shipped off to websites all across the planet. This is the environment that I need to build. And I'm close to where I've had my eye on Kaltura for a year, but I need I need a front end, a Joomla integrated solution, because I don't want to have to do everything in Kaltura.
We think we have it, in a way. Of course, that again, we are open to integrate whatever features, because we want to build a community around this as well. Whatever feature requests people have, to make it better and to cover scenarios we haven't foreseen, because again, it all stems from this particular, rights and content distribution department in our company, and most of the feature requests came from them. So again, for instance, this situation you have mentioned, where control is a must. Then you need something like Kaltura. You cannot. By the way, when you use a service like YouTube, you are already relinquishing many things, And when it comes to a professional level, where rights, the broadcasting rights on certain content are a must, then I can even tell you that we have. I can show you an example, practical example. We go to Rapid TV News. Yes. It's a publication of our mother house of Rapid TV, of European Television Guild, and it's something.
I agree. For all the networks that I deal with, they would have to use this solution.
Exactly. I'll show you an example where this actually applies. Could you just scroll down?
And then we're almost out of time, guys.
Okay, so on this publication we run occasionally, or several times a year actually, thematic or topic-related roundtables. This one was shot in Germany, and
those are all languages?
Yeah, we publish the website in all these languages here. This is for, by the way, for TV industry professionals, okay, and around media and so on and so forth.
Hello and welcome to the very first edition of the Rapid TV News Roundtable talk over here in Germany. Now, for the first edition, we've picked...
Software as a service is a server of our own, configured and tailored to our needs. And because of the type of agreement we have with the company who shot and produced this video, they made it abundantly clear that it could not go on YouTube because they didn't want to relinquish their rights on this particular content. Of course I won't discuss how relevant the content is or whatever, but it's just to highlight that in certain types of markets it's a need to keep control on the copyright and authorship. I think that their primary fear is that competitors of Rapid TV News, for instance, would try to embed this stuff in their own site. So, and the company didn't want that to happen. Okay, so again, there you have it, a practical.
But what you're also saying is, in your own server, install the Kaltura software, load your video there, point to it. It's an easy solution, anyways. You don't have to buy the service if you don't want a service.
No,
but you have to care to take the software.
Yeah, sure.
Maintain. Yeah. And I can tell you, it's even if you have to upgrade Joomla from version 1.5 to 2.5, compared to upgrading from Kaltura 4.0 to 5.0, Joomla is a walk in the park. It's really nothing. This is a lot more. This has what I fear the most. Java is at the very foundation of Kaltura. Many core functions in Kaltura, statistical functions, they are all written in Java. Okay. And to upgrade Kaltura because of the sheer complexity underneath, it can be a hell of a task. That's why for many of our customers, at let's say more of a layman's level, we prefer them to actually use Kaltura software as a service because their support in that concern will be a lot more responsive than ours. We are a small company.
We're going to need to end the time here, and you can keep talking afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, by the way, for coming once again.
The language is below.
Thank you.
The language is below. We expand knowledge.